What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. Welcome to another live Thursday night on the #1 live tuning show with a red light in the corner. I don't know. What's going on? Got a couple people here. Got some people rolling in. There's my boy Andrew. What's going on down under, brother? I really ain't got that much new to talk about. What up, Zoo? What up, Danny? Into LS. Been a while. Welcome back to the live show, man. Hey, DZ. There we go. There goes the number. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. It's getting bigger. What's up, Justin? Michael? Brad, welcome. What's everybody up to? What's new? What's new? There's our other Aussie, Bernard. Good to see ya. I ain't got nothing. What up, Jonathan? I ain't got nothing. Busy week. Ain't done nothing. Hey, Brad. Bunch of nothing. Somebody's got to have done something. Anybody doing any tuning? Mocking up parts. What up, funny muffler? I ain't even done that. I take that back. I installed a bed rug and a tonneau cover on the new Silverado this week. Got the engine running. Few teething issues like normal. But should end up good. Always going to be those small issues. Always. Hey, Frank. Joseph. Putting a GPS speedometer in your Scion. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Been tuning a 90 C1053. She's been running strong. Sweet. My buddy Justin just got done getting his 87 C10 on the road. 5.3 turbo. Trying to tune my E38 for the first time, having trouble with that's not disabling. What kind of trouble you having, Brad? What do you mean you're having trouble with that's not disabling? Are you doing right all or right config? Make sure you do a right all whenever you turn that's off. And you also have to turn off the starter check. If it's one that has starter check. But yeah, if you're just doing right config, it will not disable the VATs. What up, Cam? Good to see you again. Still trying to figure out your stupid throttle issues. Danny. Why don't you just send me a log and a copy of the tune? You always send me questions. You never send me a log and a copy of the tune. T56 pretty tight in the Toyota Cressida. Need to remove the trans, do some more bashing. Trans angle is too steep. Any advice with shift timing on the 6L80E? Yeah, lower it. It's hydraulic at the end of the day. You can make the shift time as low as you want. It's still not going to go as fast as... It's only going to go as fast as the hydraulics will let. What up, WS6? Been reading up on the Haltech VCUs. Friends got Nexus R5. Great units, by the way. In a race car, Holly guy. But wow, their stuff has some amazing capabilities. Listen. Holly is like... Let me think. Holly is like going down to the local gas station and ordering brisket, whereas Haltech is like flying to Texas to get brisket. What up, Brian? Car starts and dies after a few seconds. No trouble codes, no DTCs or anything, Brad. Does the Gen 4 LS from the Escalade need the BCM to run the stock automatic trans? No, should not need it. Nothing from the 4th generation should require a BCM to work. What question? What computer does the 05 have? 054. Oh, 05 XLR. I don't know that the 05 is supported, man. Hold on. Doop, 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 doop. No, I think 06 is the first year that was supported unless it's an XLRV. All the XLRVs are supported, though. I'm transitioning from map tuning to speed density. When I set up for speed density tuning from map, my initial idle is rich and rough. Smooth on map otherwise. Any advice? Keep working on speed density. Speed density just got to get dialed in, man. What car am I working on? Nothing right now. I'm going to try and do some work on the Monte Carlo this weekend. So, going to try and get the big block pulled out and start putting the 6-liter in it. Which link you talking about into LS? Luke says, building a bottom end on an LSA block. Low compression on one cylinder on current motor. Ported heads, blah, blah, blah. Thanks, Danny. I love that you're in my chat. Any advice on LSA bottom end? Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I do an LSA, I'd try to keep as much cylinder wall as possible and probably stroke it. Justin, no, I do not. In fact, the guy that bought it just messaged me the other day. Yeah, it was a Z06. Any way to get different ECM in it to tune the XLR? No. Don't even bother. I don't remember, but I probably have tons of videos on all of the crap I went through to try to get it to work on a stock. I ended up putting it on Terminator. Do any of the trans speedos come through the BCM, or is that only outputs to the dash speedo? That I can't be sure of. You'd have to look at the wiring diagrams. Which 3-bar are you using, Danny Rochester? Because I've had issues with certain 3-bars. Listen, down south you can get decent barbecue at a gas station. I'm not going to say that. Any plans on doing a podcast with Sloppy Mechanics? Listen, if he reaches out, I'll do it. I've told him I'd do it. 92,000 member car giveaway. Yeah, I'll give the Cutlass away if somebody will come haul it off. Yeah, the XLR ECU days, nightmares. I've never done so much wiring and rewiring. I ended up just building a harness adapter so I could put an E38 in it, or an E67. No, I have not updated the Smoke Monster yet. It's still on Holly HP. It'll probably happen. I'm leaning towards a Haltech because my buddy Mr. Rabbit talks about how much he loves his Nexus. I don't know. Charles says, what up? What up? Just put knock sensor in harness. Now getting map code and both knock sensors voltage low. That's weird. I mean, obviously you got a wiring problem, but I wouldn't even know where to begin. Easy Living says Terminator tuning versus HP tuners tuning, big differences. Yeah, I mean, do I need to think of an analogy? Okay, HP tuners is like maybe high school AP, whereas Terminator is grade school, maybe even kindergarten. Listen, the Holly stuff is easy to tune. The problem is that Holly thought that they were really cool and put in this self-tuning stuff. It doesn't work well. You're better off looking at your data logs and adjusting off of your data logs to get your tune good. Only brisket analogies. I don't even know how to do a brisket analogy on tuning. Oh, man. Danny Rochester. I should specify, since we got a couple Dannys in here. Danny Rochester, join the Patreon. That's what it's there for. I will help work through it, and we will figure out what's holding you up. Overcooked and undercooked doesn't really work, though, because like undercooked, you should need is going to make you sick. I guess that'd work for Holly tuning, though. It's undercooked. Real smoke versus that. See, that doesn't work either. I'm trying to think. Thank you, Danny Carwile. I see that you sent them. Thoughts on going solid lifters for the street? I mean, as long as you don't mind pulling the valve covers off and relashing, not a big ordeal. Any luck with Snake Eater Performance Fuel Injection? Listen, for the money, I haven't had any issues with them. I know people have had issues. Now, I say that I haven't had any issues. I have a sneaking suspicion I might have some issues with the ones that are on the Smoke Monster, because that's what I have on Smoke Monster right now. And I will say that upon buying the new intake manifold for a Smoke Monster, which still has not been installed, I did go with Deechworks this time around. Yeah, twice as much money. But the ones that are in the Smoke Monster were whenever they were still doing the Chinese ones. Brisket comparison, Holly versus HB tuners. Okay. HB tuners is like sliced brisket. Holly is like shredded brisket. One of them, you've got to be able to use a knife and a fork to be able to eat. The other one, you can just shove straight in your mouth. I mean, technically, you can use, bird ends. Oh, don't get me started on bird ends. Whew, whew, whew. If you don't know what burnt ends are, you're missing out. Oh, man. I need to check airline prices. I might have to fly back down south and get some burnt ends. Whew. Hey, Tommy, have you been to the big ass Houston barbecue rodeo thing? Whew. I'll kill you in a good way. Man, you gotta have them. Deechworks good. Injector Dynamics good. You're paying a premium, but you're getting the support behind it. As I said, I'm not going to say anything bad about Snake Eater because I've ran them on multiple setups, so I don't. Wait a second. Yeah, barbecue cook-off during the rodeo. 770 kart racing bricked a P59 ECM. How'd you brick a P59 ECM? I guess P59s are breakable. Well, I said D-Schwartz injector dynamics are going to be your main go-tos unless you're looking at gallons per hour kind of stuff. No, you're not the only one that's done that. I've got a 411 sitting around here that I bricked. Just make sure that you follow the basic instructions. Unplug the fuses for your radio and stuff like that just to be safe. Make sure your battery's topped off or on a tender. Make sure that your computer is not powered by the electric system on the car. Yeah, probably the aftermarket radio, but it is very easy. You can't break the E38. Yeah, I was about to say, E38s, any 4th gen and beyond, don't quote me on this because of the E40s, any 4th gen and beyond has a space in the memory, and if it gets an incomplete tune written to it, it'll revert into a boot mode that'll allow you to write a configuration to it. Listen, you can't get good barbecue everywhere. And there's barbecue places everywhere. In Casey Masterpiece Cook-Off Kansas City doesn't have the right kind of barbecue. Ugh. Same thing with anywhere out north and out east. Too much vinegar, stuff like that. You got to get Texas barbecue. Texas barbecue, Texas style. So you got to go Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, blah, blah, blah. Places down there. Well, you need to check your battery voltage on the car. You know, you need to have like 12.5 volts on there. And if you don't have 12.5 volts, you need to have it on a tender, but don't have it on like a battery charger. Have it on a tender, something that's going to keep the voltage up, but not put a strain on the system or create an unbalanced system like that. But you also want to make sure that the laptop is not being powered by the car. That's another big one on the early stuff. Texas Speed sell barbecue? No. They sell motors at a barbecue. So on a 2010 Sierra stock, besides tuning, the computer is commanding more timing than what the high octane table says. So 2010 torque. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Sorry. Alexa was getting crazy. 2010 torque tables, don't worry about those. Leave them stock. But you need to look at your timing modifier tables because it could be ECT modifiers, the IAT modifiers. All those modifier tables can add timing on there. So check your modifier tables. And in fact, you can log all the parameters that will show you whether or not they're adding or subtracting timing. So you had a small charger tender. That probably wasn't it. What up, Cole? P59s are pretty breakable, Bernard. They won't recover. If it fails right, it's usually dead. Oh yeah, no, I feel night and day better. Night and day better. Finally getting over the hump. It had me down for a little over 2 weeks. I just got to get back in the swing of things. I'm still a little bit tired, dragging a little bit, stuff like that. Weather's it's been rainy and stuff around here, which has not helped motivation. Had a lot of stuff going on. I know some of you are aware that my dog Seven, some of you may have seen her in some of my earlier videos, my black one with Brendel. She's going through cancer right now. She had surgery last Thursday, and then she has, not today, but last Thursday, and then she has, I think we're starting chemo next Monday. So just like stress, stuff like that, got me I'm out of my mind. Hey, we got another Aussie in here. What up, Kyle? Kyle number 2. Yeah, no, it's listen, the chemo's not cheap. It's $1,100 a pop, and she's going to need at least 8 sessions. I don't know if it was COVID that got me, Schmidt. I did take a test, but I don't know if they, if they matter anymore because I was, bleh. But yeah. Zeroed out my modifiers and have it at 24 degrees, but commands 30. Something's still got to be getting it, Chris. Something. Log all of the parameters, all of the timing parameters that you can, and see if anything's adding anything. Yeah, exactly. If you have an MPVI2 or newer, don't worry much about. The bottleneck's not going to be the MPVI2. It's going to be the ECU itself. Frank. Okay, you were asking about variable valve timing on the Gen 5s. Yes, do the DOD delete and lock out the VVT while you're in there. You're not getting anything from it. You're just, like, you got to realize on a single cam motor, there's very few exceptions to this. On a single cam motor, you're advancing or retarding the entire cam. You can't change lobe separation and stuff like that. It's really more for emissions. There might be power to be picked up. There's more power to be picked up by going to a new cam than there is playing with the VVT on an LS. So, and honestly, if you're staying with stock cam, it's not even worth messing with because it just will cause you nothing but fits. So, Dan Rochester, you paid up for what? Yo! My AFR mostly sits around 0.89. And under transient drops around 0.78. Then it returns to 0.89. And goes to 122 on decel. So it sounds like it's decelerating, right? It's just rich the rest of the time. Oh, yeah. Always supporting Brent. Brent's my man. Is there any significant tube changes needed? No. Frank, on the airflow camshaft, change the number of camshafts to 0. Danny, I have no clue. And I'll tell you, it's easier for you to find out if you're paid up on Patreon than it is for me to figure out if you're paid up on Patreon. Just send it to me, Danny. You've got the email. I don't care. I'm not going to... If you send me an email, I'm not going to be like, I think Danny's expired. I better go check Patreon and make sure. Come on. You guys know me better than that. Yeah, it's because I've sworn off 442s. What causes cruise control to kick off after you disable VVT or other possible issues? Shouldn't. Jordan, what's your setup? Like, I can't think of anything that could cause cruise control to kick off from VVT. Now, other possible issues, yeah. Cruise control can be pretty testy on these modern cars. If you've got any kind of service lights, it's not going to work. DTCs will cause it to not work. StabiliTrak issues will cause it to not work, etc., etc. I ain't giving nobody a sexy spin. You'll see my big old booty. I got a bubble butt. Double check. Make sure that you don't have a DTC. Even if you don't have a check engine light, you can still have DTC. If you have DTC, it might be causing it to kick out. So, juicy, man. Listen, I've got like 20 pounds of brisket in my back pocket. Failing the math, I don't remember because I never tried to use cruise control with the math failed. But I would not be surprised if it did not work, if it was failed. Faulty wheel sensors will do it, etc. Jake says, I'm so disappointed in myself. Let me get in my Jake mode. I'm so disappointed in myself today. I just finished an LS swap into my own one Trans Am and had to go pressure test the cooling system, only to realize I forgot to plug the M12 hole in the passenger side head. That'll do it. And funny enough, I was talking earlier before you're on here, Jake, my buddy Justin was swapped a 5.3 into a C10. He forgot the same exact thing. Awesome, Kyle. Glad to hear it. Stick with it. As I've always said, it is like eating the elephant. You can do it. You just got to take it one bite at a time. Especially if the elephant's made out of brisket. Right? Am I right? Speaking of which, it's not on there today, but I have some new Goat Rope Garage emojis coming, and hopefully for you members, they will be in there by next week's live chat. Fingers crossed, if they turned out all right. So, I'll be excited to see you guys spam the chat with the new emojis. What's burnt ends? Burnt ends are the ends cut off of brisket, and a lot of times they're tossed in barbecue sauce, and then they're basically just cooked. They're burnt. They're burned. But it said they'll toss them in barbecue sauce and cook them for a little bit longer, and that'll kind of soften them up. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Are we going to get a sweet nitrous purge over here for Mr. Frank? In support of Mr. Frank, calling all nitrous purges. I need to update the nitrous purge anyways. Where's it at? It'll pop up. Do you have any Flex Fit hats? Yeah, I've got a whole box of them in the closet over there. But I've got boxes of them over here that I've got to get shipped out to people that I promised them earlier this year. Once I get that done, I see at least 5 boxes I need to ship, maybe 6. Once I get that done, then I will sell the rest of my hats. And it'll be time to go buy new hats too. Not for sale yet, Schmidt. Not for sale yet. I will let you know, though. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that there's the nitrous purge. It finally came up. Yay! I even got a sweet label printer to print out labels to help with shipping, and it's just, I can't get it to work. I hate any printer. It's coming, though. Yes, burn ends are either really good or really bad. But if a guy knows how to do burn ends, they're going to be good. Kick it in the guts, Barry. I would do it with my Australian accent, but you guys from Australia would be super offended. Oh, mercy. 8:26 is about wrap-up time. If you got a question, get it in before wrap-up time here. Hold on, I got burp. I'm back. Bernard says it's super cool. Bernard, you don't speak for all of Australia. Mate. Oh, man, you guys crack me up. This is a good show. It's a fun show tonight. I want to thank everybody that stopped by. This has been one of the funner shows that we've had in a while. Obviously, I'm feeling better. And, hey, you guys always put me in a good mood. That's why we do this. You guys think that this is here so you can ask questions and stuff? No, you're here to put me in a good mood. Tuning and Barbecue. Maybe I just need to change the name of the live show to Tuning and Barbecue, and I'll start ordering barbecue and just sit here and eat barbecue. 408 Twin Turbo LS sounds sweet, Kamar. Speed density, ready to start driving tuning. 411 PCM. Where should I start with the tuning? You're going speed density, man. You don't have a lot of places, especially on 411 PCM. You're going to start on speed density. Go in, put your timing down to safe levels. I take it that you're running a cable throttle body. Get the thing idling good. Watch your wideband though. Make sure that your temperature idle, idle at temperature 180 or so is good, and then adjust your throttle body airflow. Looking at your IAC sensor, your idle air control. Get that thing where it's around 80 at temperature. That's what you're looking for. And then slowly but surely, just start working up the RPMs and load. So if you're starting here, you know what? Stand by. Let me open up a tune. Let's go to the whiteboard real quick because Kamara asked a great question. And let me see, what do we got here? Edit, calibration details. This is P01, so this is close enough. Okay, jumping over the whiteboard. Okay. So, obviously, you want to go probably three bar, right? Apply your 3-bar code. If you haven't done it already, we'll do save as 2000 Corvette automatic 3-bar patch. Okay, let's open up the one that we just saved, 3-bar patch. Then look underneath our airflow. So, here's our new jacked up table. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up another editor. Show you kind of how it gets started. This is going to apply to anybody that does a patch and it wipes out the VE table. So let me open up the stock one. Engine. Airflow. We're going to look at our primary table. So 15, 20, it's on separations of 5. 15, 20. Same matches up there. So what we can do here, we're going to copy this table. We're going to paste it in. So there's our stock table that we're working with, right? So we know, and this said this is based off of a Corvette, so it's making max VE down here, which means 100% on boosted. So I'm going to go 100 kPa. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to come down to the 315. I'm going to paste it in. So I know 315, 3 times higher than 100, but that's assuming 100% efficiency, what we're not going to get. So I'm going to come in here and multiply by about 2.5 to start. Then I can come out here and just interpolate this out. So if we split this out and take a look at the graph, and remember, you can always reference back to this after the fact. You can see we've got a curve. And that's not what it's going to end up looking like. But what we have here is a fairly safe tune. Even to the point where I'm probably going to go ahead and go from about 60. And I'm going to bring that area up. So this area is going to be rich. Because I want it to be rich beforehand. So now I'm going to go out and I'm going to start logging. Whenever I'm logging, I'm going to be right about here. This should, based on your cam, this is where you should be at idle. I'm going to log at idle. Oh, okay, well, I need to make an adjustment. Says that I'm 5% lean. Well, at idle, if I'm 5% lean, I'm going to add 5% to the entire table to start. Boom, there we go. Shifted the whole table up 5%. So once I get my idle area dialed in, now I'm going to go out and I'm going to drive. And I'm going to take it up 1,500 to 2,000 at most. Just light driving. And I'm going to see what that area is doing. And I'm going to apply those changes. And as I apply those changes, if I see a trend happen, say now we're too rich and that area is starting to look like a little flat spot down there. Maybe we even go like that. See that flat spot sticking out? I'm going to start working out from that spot. I'm going to use interpolation and stuff like that, and interpolate down and interpolate over. So I'm kind of tuning out ahead of where I'm at on the tune. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to give it a little more throttle, a little more load, maybe a little more RPMs. And then I'm going to adjust that area. Then I'm going to go out and do more RPMs, maybe a little bit more load, adjust that area. And then I'll get out here. And I'm getting close to boost, but I'm not quite in boost yet, but I'm getting this area really dialed in. Then maybe I might try to get 3 PSI, 4 PSI. And I'm always working out from idle. But as I do that, if I work this area, then I'm going to tune out beyond the area manually that I just captured data for. I'm going to take that data and use it to predict what's going to happen because it is a volumetric efficiency curve. It's always going to have a curve. So you're going to have a hump at max torque area. This area, based on your boost level, is where it's going to peak out at. So if you're running, say you're running 15 PSI, you're going to peak out around here, and then it's going to trail off towards the end here. So you get rich, or you get a lot more air. Remember, this is a percentage of how much air the engine can breathe. So this is going to be the most air, and then it's going to start losing efficiency out here. Once you get past 6,000 RPM, stuff like that. So hopefully that gives you some insight, Kamar, on where to start. As I said, don't forget, check your spark, take your iOctane table. Woo! I certainly don't want to run 28 degrees out here, I'm going to take, depending on what your max boost is, probably want to take about 1 degree per PSI out to start because you can always add back in. So I might take 10 out. Then I'm going to go back. And I'm going to go this way. Then I'll look at my graph. Make sure it doesn't look funky. That looks all right. And I might even select everything. Smooth it out a couple times. Whenever I'm done with that, copy it. Go over to low octane. Paste it. Subtract 6 from the entire thing. Low octane. During the tuning process, I want it to be 6 degrees less. Okay? Great question, man. Great question. That'll get you going. Listen, great question. Yeah, thanks, Kim. I'll keep you posted. Yeah, everybody, next week, 8 o'clock. We'll do it. Do Gen 4 injectors group fire when there's a camshaft sensor issue? I don't know. I would think they wouldn't fire at all. Depending, humps aren't out of the ordinary, Bernard. As I said, you got to take into account blower efficiency or turbo efficiency, stuff like that. Listen, we've ran over our scheduled time, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it. You guys know the drill. Thanks for stopping by the garage. Remember, ABT. Let me get this part out of the way. Always be tuning.